This conference will now be recorded.
So we are discussing full stack Java project, and we are going with employee management system. And for that, we have created one Spring Boot project, employee management system, where we are going with the REST APIs like get all employees, create employee, get employee by ID, update employee, and delete employee. Okay, these are the REST APIs what we have created in Spring Boot application. Now, let us run this project. Run as Spring Boot app. Right. Now, after running this, coming to the front end part. So we are developing the front end using Angular. For that, we have created this Angular project front end employee management. Now let us open this project in Visual Studio Code using the command code dot. Right. Now this is our project here, and let us build this project. How to build the project using which command? Ng serve. So in the front end part, what we have seen in the last videos, in the last classes, what we have seen, like we are able to display the list of employees. So when we run the application, when we open the URL localhost 4200, so we are able to list the employees, and we are able to add the employees also. Okay, just when we click on this link, add employee, we can provide the employee details where we can add the employee, right? So like example here, you can go with the name, like something like Ram's employee designation, some HR, employee salary, some 45,000, some details. See here, we are able to add the details. Now, today we'll be going with the remaining part, like how to go with update and how to go with delete operation. Okay, the remaining two operations. So in order to go with update, what we need to do? Let me terminate this compilation. Control C. Now, so whenever you want to do some action, where we have to manage that, always go with what? Service. So always go with service. Now, in this employee service, this is the major important class to access your REST APIs. So here from this employee service, we should be able to access this update employee method. This method we want to access. So what is the mapping? See, put mapping employee / employee ID. So when you provide the employee ID, based on the employee ID, what are the new object details we pass, the details will get updated to our employer. That's the main role of this update employee. Now let us invoke this REST API from our Angular. So how to invoke? From this employee service. So for this, what you do is you create a method. Let us go with a method update employee. Update employee, which takes employee ID, it's of type number, then we pass employee object, right? So what are the employee ID we provide, and what are the new employee object we provide? For that ID, this new employee object details should get updated. Then say colon observable employee, say here return this dot http client dot, which method we have to call? Put. Update means put. This dot http client dot put employee, then invoke the base URL. How to invoke? Tilde symbol, which you can find above tab key, then tilde symbol, dollar, curly braces, this dot base URL, and what we have to pass here? The employee ID, dollar employee ID, then say to this we need to pass our employee object. That's it. Okay. So when we invoke this method update employee, so what are the employee ID we give? what are the employee object we give. By using this HTTP client put method, we are invoking the base URL. We are invoking our base URL, and to that we are passing our employee ID and new object. So what are the employee ID we give? That will come and store into this employee ID. The new employee object will come and store into this employee details, and the details will get updated here. Then, so this is our method in service class to invoke our update employee REST API. Now, once we create this service class, our next step is let us create one component. Let us create a new component, update employee component. How to create a component? How to create a component? Using which command? Ng generate component. Let us go with the name update employee. Then see the files are created. Now come to this Visual Studio Code. Now here we are having this update employee. Here the important files are update employee.component.html, update employee.component.ts file. These two are the important files. In this update employee.component.html, let us go with the same code. We are having this create employee code. Copy the same piece of code, whatever we are having here, because here we need to accept the employee details once again. So I'm just copying this create employee.component.html code and paste over here. Same form. Here also we are going to accept employee name, designation, salary, and a button. And here the button will say update employee. Update employee and save. Once you click on this update employee, it's going to invoke this on submit function. Now here let us change the label to update employee. Right? That's it. Simple updates. Here we are changing to update employee, and here it is update employee. Remaining form is same, where we are accepting name, designation, and salary. Now, once we click on this update button, update employee button, it is going to invoke which function? On submit. Now, go to this file, update employee component.ts file. Here we need to create the function on submit. Now, understand carefully. Here in this update employee component, let us say implements on init. Means whenever the class gets loaded on initialization, it is going to invoke which method implicitly? This method, ng on init method. Okay. So that is the need of this implementing on init. So whenever it loads this class, it enters into this method automatically. That's the meaning of this on init. Now, in this update employee component class, let us go with the properties like employee ID, it's of type number, initial value 0, then employee, it's of type employee, and we are creating object of employee class here. Okay, import package for this, quick fix and add import here. Okay, then so these are the properties. Then next one, let us go with a constructor. To this constructor, we are going with the employee service, because by using employee service only we can access our service methods. So employee service, and one more property, route, activated route, and one more router. This one we have to take Angular router. At the rate Angular router we need to take here. So to this constructor we are going with the 3 arguments: employee service, route, it's of type activated route, and one more private route router. Right? Now and here with the curly braces. So this is the constructor. Now on initialization means whenever the class gets loaded, understand carefully, on initialization we have to get the employee ID. How to get the employee ID is we have to select this dot employee ID equal to this dot route dot snapshot dot params, and here we have to go with ID only, compulsory ID, not employee ID, just say ID. Okay, it's a syntax rule, just we have to provide here ID. I'll explain this more again. Then after that we'll say this dot employee service dot get employee by ID, get employee by ID. I think this method is not present, right? So we did not create this employee ID method, get employee ID. Let us create that service. Let us create one method here. We missed out, get employee by ID, which takes employee ID as argument, and observable employee, and here we'll say this dot http client dot get employee tilde symbol dollar this dot base URL, and to this what we need to pass here, our employee ID. We need to pass the employee ID. So what is the use of this method? So what is the use of this method? Get employee by ID. What are the employee ID we provide? It goes to the REST API. What are the employee ID we pass? That object will be returned to us. That's the use of this get employee by ID. Now in this update employee, we are calling these methods here by using employee service. Now based on this ID, based on this employee ID, we should able to get the employee object. Right? Now call the method this dot employee service dot get employee by ID, and to this we'll pass this dot employee ID dot subscribe. What are the data we are getting? This data will be storing into what? This dot employee equal to data. So what are the data we are getting? That we are storing into this employee object. Okay, I'll re-explain all these things once again. Now this is the part on initialization. Then next method, when you click on this update employee, we are going to invoke which function? On submit. Now create the function here, on submit. Here we'll say this dot employee service, and we call the method update employee. To this update employee, what we have to pass? The employee ID and the employee object also. To update employee, for whichever the employee ID we provide, whatever the new employee object we give, that should get updated. Okay, so here we are calling the method update employee. To this method we are passing employee ID and employee object, then say dot subscribe. Then what are the data we are getting? This data we have to store it into this dot employee equal to data, and after updating the object, we have to display the data once again. So say here go to employee list. So once we update the record, again we have to display the employee list on our browser. Then, so for that we are calling this method go to employee list. Now here create the method go to employee list. In this method we'll say this dot router dot navigate, this dot router dot navigate square brackets in single quotes we have to route to what employees. Okay, I'll explain once again all the things. Okay, how the flow is going. Then once we complete this employee update employee component, then the next step is the next important step is we have to go to this file list employee component.ts file, list employee component.ts file. In this list employee.component.ts file, here in constructor, let us go with one more property router. It's of type router. Router, it's of type what? Router. This one we have to choose Angular router. Then, now create one method here. Create one method update employee, which takes your employee ID as argument. Then say this dot router dot navigate this dot router dot navigate, which component we have to refer? Update employee. Update employee. To this we'll pass our employee ID. So we are navigating to this update employee. Okay. Now in the constructor we are providing what is the need of it again. Okay. Private router, not required here. Okay. So we had to say private router. Right. Now once we do this step update employee method in list employee component, our next step is go to this list employee component.html file. So what we have to do here is understand carefully. What we have to do is here and see the page. Here I want to add one action here. I want to go with one action. We want to go with a heading like action, and here we want to go with update. So here we want to add an action update. So whenever we click on this update, this particular employee details should get updated. So when you click on this update, this particular employee details should get updated. So that's the need of this providing this action here. Now let us create the action. Where to create in list employee component.html. Here we'll go with one more table heading action. One more table heading action. And here let us create one table data. In between this create a button. And when you click on the button, we want to invoke which function? Update employee. To this update employee, we'll provide our employee.employee ID. Okay, then we'll say class equal to the bootstrap class button success, button success, and we'll go with the value of button as update here. Okay, now so the next final step is we have to go to this app routing.module.ts file, and here let us go with a new path here, path. If the path is update employee, if the path is update employee, and we have to provide the ID, then the component what it should load is update employee component. Okay, so this is our path here. So when the path is update employee with the ID, then it should load which component? Update employee component. Okay, now let me run this project. I'll explain all the flow, complete workflow. I'll explain. ng sir. So let us check whether it is working first. Then see here, you are getting the action update. Now when you click on this update here, I want to change the designation from HR. We want to say senior HR, and we want to change the salary to 70,000. Now when you click on update employee, it's not going. Let us check the mistakes what we have done. So let us go to this service. In this service, we have created this update employee. To this we are passing employee ID and employee observable. Employee this dot http client dot put employee this dot base URL, and we are providing the employee ID. This is important. Here we do the mistake. Dollar curly braces employee ID employee, and get employee by ID, number observable employee, return this dot http client dot get employee this dot base URL, dollar employee ID. Right. The next step, we are creating this update employee component. Here we are creating the same form, update employee. On submit, it goes to this on submit. Okay, it's okay. Add update employee here. Employee service route, activated route, route. Okay. On initialization, this dot employee ID equal to this dot route dot snapshot dot params ID. Dot employee service get employee by ID. This dot employee ID dot subscribe data. This dot employee equal to data. This is also correct only. employee service, update employee, list dot employee ID, dot subscribe. So what are the data we are getting? We are storing into employee, and this dot go to employee list. In this employee list, we are routing this dot route dot navigate employees. Then in this list employee dot component dot ts file, we are creating the method update employee. This dot route navigate to update employee. Routing. Everything's fine only. Let me terminate and recompile in this cell. Employees list. Let us go with this update. Senior HR 70,000, right? Update employee. Some mistake we have done. So it is not at all coming to this part here. It's not at all invoking update command. So not coming to Spring Boot application. That's a problem here. Let me just take the code, update employee, so that there are, if some mistakes are there, some small mistakes we do. I'm just copying the code, these two methods. Then the first step. Then second step is create this update employee component. Create update employee component. This is the code. Update employee component. I think it's almost same here. Right, this is C, and let us take this update employee.component.ts file. Let us change this code. Copy this, and let us come to this update employee.component.ts file. I'm just removing this code and pasting with our code. Okay, same code. There will be some small mistakes we might have done. Okay, then next, once we update this, coming to the next part, list employee component.ts. Here we are going with router. From Angular router, this is important to observe. Okay. This is also fine. Let me just change it here. Then finally, this one, app routing dot. Right, these are the updates. Let us check it now once again. Terminate and rebuild the application in this cell. Same problem. Let us update some other record. Okay. See here, observe here. What we have done here, the mistake. 3 is, it's a spelling mistake. That's the reason it's unable to come to this place. Small spelling mistakes only we do. Okay, let me run the project again. right? No, everything is correct. Only the backend part there was a problem. NG sir. No. So employee list. Now let us come to this senior HR 70,000. Update. See here. We are getting C, updating C. Senior HR 70,000. So this one also update. Senior developer and 75,000. Update. See here. Senior developer 75,000. So the records are getting updated. Now let me explain the workflow. So when you click on this update button, so where we are creating this update button in this list employee.component.html, we are going with an action. When you click on this update button, it's invoking which function? Update employee. To that we are passing our employee ID. So goes to this update employee component.html, not this one. Update employee.component.ts file comes to this, not this one. Where is that file? Yeah, this one. So comes list employee.component, here it comes to this method, update employee. So whatever the employee ID we are giving, we are routing to what? Update employee component. So based on this routing file, based on this app routing, okay. So when you provide your update employee based on the ID, which component should get loaded? Update employee component should get loaded. So goes to this update employee component.html, it's going to display the form to us. Now when you click on this update employee, invokes which function? On submit function. It's going to invoke on submit function. Then once it enters into this class, we are loading. See, we are saying implements on init. So it enters into this on init method. We are taking the ID. Means what is the meaning of ID? So by whichever the record we click on update, no, for this that particular employee, it's going to pull out ID. That ID will come and store into this employee ID. Now by using employee service, we are getting the record get employee by ID based on your employee ID. So whatever the data present, that will come and store into this employee object. Then once we invoke this function on submit, so for this employee service, we are calling update employee and we are passing this employee ID and new employee object details. So whatever the employee object we are having, we are assigning to employee and we are going to the method go to employee list. Once we go to employee list, we are navigating to employees. So based on the routing, when the path is employees, which component should get loaded? List employee component should get loaded over here, right? That's the part, right? So this completes our update employee. Now let us move to the next one, delete. It's very simple. Delete is very simple. Delete is very simple. So for delete operation, so what we need to do? We need to go to the service class, goes to the service class, create a method, delete employee. Let us go with the method delete employee by ID. Delete employee by ID. Take the employee ID, it's of type number. Then observable object, and say return this dot http client dot delete. We have to call which method? Delete employee, and pass here tilde symbol dollar curly braces this dot base URL. To this what we need to pass our employee ID, employee ID, right? We are just invoking the method delete method here and we are passing our REST API. So this is our service method. Now once we do this, the next step is go to this list employee.component.ts file. Here you add one more method, delete employee method. Delete employee method. Pass your employee ID. It's of type number. It's of type number. And here we'll say this dot router. Sorry. This dot employee service dot delete employee. To this we'll pass our employee ID. Then say dot subscribe. What are the data we are getting? That we store it into this dot get employees. This dot get employees. That's it. So we are invoking the method, service method, employee service dot delete employee by ID goes to the service method. This method will get invoked based on the ID, based on the employee ID. Okay, that record will be deleted. After deleting the record, what we should do? Again, we should display the employee list back onto the browser. So for that, we are invoking this method get employees. So goes to this dot employee service dot get employee list. Then the complete list will be displayed on browser. Just add this method. Then the next step is go to this list employee.component.html, and here we have to create one more button. Create one more button. So only just to create the button, that's it. Create a button. Let us go with the button as delete. The action is delete. Okay. Then now once you click on this button delete, which function we have to invoke? Delete employee. We have to invoke which function? Delete employee. Then class equal to button, and let me go with, instead of success we'll say danger. When you go with danger, the color is what? Red color. Then, and we'll add one style because there should be some gap, right? So after update we are getting see delete, so there should be some gap here. So to have a gap here, we'll say style equal to margin left 10 pixel. Just we are giving some margins between the buttons update and delete. See here we are getting see gap. So to get this gap only, we are going with the style here, margin left 10 pixel, right? Now see here, when you click on this button delete, that record will be deleted. See, I'm deleting Raj now. See here, it's deleted. And even you can check your table. Select star from employees. See here, the records are deleted. Now let me remove this Rams. I'm removing Rams. See here. Let me delete here Rams, the last one. Delete. See, the record is deleted, and you can even check in your table. You can check in your table whether that record has been deleted. See here, the record has been deleted. Right? So this is the complete application. Please practice this compulsory. If you practice only, you can understand what is happening. And you can find the complete document here. I'll be sharing the complete document with the code. And even I'll be sharing this complete project folder. This complete project folder. This full stack Java project folder I'll be sharing for source codes. Then if you open this folder, you can see this, see, employee management system. This is our Spring Boot project, and this front-end employee management is our Angular project. Okay, these two are our project details. Okay, and so that's about from this course, full stack Java. Hope you have understood this. And one more next part, what I'll be doing is by tomorrow end, I'll be sharing the complete our project folder, complete folder of our batch, Java Online 11, which contains the complete, the notes, the programs, okay, and the recordings, everything you can find. The complete thing I'll be sharing to you, okay, by tomorrow end, right? Okay, so that's about from my end. Any questions, anyone? And today is nothing like last. Always you can interact through mails to me. Okay, you can send your queries through mails. I'll be responding to your mails. Okay. Thank you all. Thank you very much and all the best. Thank you all.
Thank you.